What a way to start the day. Hey guys, welcome to the channel. We missed last week. We had to rescue a load, was out of town, so off we went. And the week before that, we did it in the hotel room at Metz. So hope everybody can hear me all right. We've got Kevin and Jeremy and Bill. We've got all of them online here to talk tonight. We're going to take questions from our new guys. And so, Danny, hey, thanks, man. Alan, there's Rodney on board. So let me just tell you, we took off and went to Metz, and it like to kill me. I never walked so much in my life. That was the biggest place I think I've ever seen. There had to have been at least 1,000, 1,500 trucks and trailers underneath the roof of this place. And they said it was smaller than it was last year. Couple of the slides I'm going to throw in here real quick. Hey, Ozzy, a couple of the slides from the show is that old antique truck. And then they had a whole veteran section down there, which was really, really cool. All the trucks were decked out, honoring veterans. Really enjoyed that. As you can see, all the major carriers had one truck there all decked out. So that was really cool. We saw just a ton of stuff. Not a lot of stuff really that really, dealt with Hotshot. There was a couple places that did, and there was a couple new items I saw out there. One of them was a fiber strap. I saw it, took a picture of it. I want to get one if it's not too expensive, but it's just like a chain, but it only weighs a tenth of the chain and has a 7,000 pound load capacity on it. And I thought, if I could save all that weight on my back as well as on the truck, I thought that would be a good deal. So loved it, had a great time. I want to turn this over to the floor for some questions to see what you got. Yeah, they are DOT approved, Alan. Yeah, they wouldn't sell them at that show if it wasn't approved. The weight on it was amazing. I mean, I just picked it up and it was just like a rope, but they were made in like chain links, and you could tell it was some kind of woven fiber. And you would use them the same way you would use a chain and binder, except for the weight. Freaking amazing to me. If that stuff's not too expensive, my gut tells me it's going to be high. I didn't ask. It was the first day, and to be honest with you, I thought I would be able to circle back to them, but it got busier and busier and busier, and we ended up just not getting back over there. But I'll look it up and let everybody know what the deal is. All right, this evening we have, of course, Mila is over here running that sideshow, keeping everything put together. We have Bill William. He's our newest addition. We have Kevin on here. He's brand spanking new. Not brand spanking new. Kev's on his second run out. And we have Jeremy on here, who is one of the top performers in the deal. So we have a great panel here this evening. Wanted to see what we had for questions tonight. The first question I'm going to ask is to Jeremy, and that's where are you at, man? Where are you at?
Yeah, I just stopped. I'm at a TA in Northern Maryland.
Northern Maryland. All right. Yeah. How's your week going?
Besides downtown Queens and downtown Bronx today, it's been pretty good.
Okay. All right. Let's go over long time listener, first time questioner. Well, come on, Facebook user. Type your name on. Let me know what you got. No questions are ever not answered here. Are you guys seeing 60, 70-cent discount with fuel cards? What's the reality? All right, we're going to go with Jeremy since he's been out on the road the most, and understand that we don't use fuel cards because we stay away from the truck stops. So I will pass you off. Jeremy, do you mind fielding that, please?
So I don't actually use a fuel card. I use a personal credit card that gives me 2% cash back for every single purchase, but I also use the Mudflap app. And with the Mudflap app, depending on where you are in the country, a lot of times if fuel already in general is 3.80 a gallon, I might get 10 cents off. Now, up in your northern states, up in New York, Pennsylvania, in those general areas where fuel is still, 4.80 to $5 a gallon, I might get 60 to 70 cent off and bring it down closer to $4 even. And that's what I'm getting on my fuel discounts. And then of course with my credit card I get cash back.
All right, good, good. And and Al, that's what we recommend is to stay away from the truck stops in general. And to give you an example real quick, with that Mudflap app or Gas Buddy or whatever free app you can get a hold of, yeah, Al, Gas Buddy. That's what I use as Gas Buddy. So anyway, long story short, right up the road, 2 miles is a Pilot, and I took a picture of it, and it was at that particular time, I think it was 360, no, negative 460 a gallon. And at that particular time, if you drove an additional 2 miles and hit a QT, the uh, price was literally $1.03 cheaper a gallon. $1, and that's with no app, no nothing. That's so you're saving $1 a gallon there. So stay away from those truck stops, guys. Okay, so next question up, we have. Let's see. I guess, buddy, need to check out. Yeah, check it out. But fuel card reference I got is good at 7-Elevens. So look, Al, let's if it's not giving you cash back in some way, and it's only dragging you to a truck stop, just understand you're going to pay. They're going to give you all the discounts you want because they're adding $1 a gallon to the price or 50 cents a gallon. Then they give you 22 off. That just means you paid 30 cents a gallon more than anywhere else. So understand that. Okay. So do you have a video on tools you carry for the truck for emergencies and maintenance? I have a video out there. I'm not somewhere that basically says everything I carry on my truck. And I actually lay it out. So yes, there is. I'll find that. Maybe Mila can look around and see if she can find it, and then we'll post that. Okay. What's my next question? Kevin, I'm getting ready to add you here.
Come on.
Hey, Kevin.
Yes, sir.
This is Kevin's been out now on. This is your second run.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good deal. All right, Kevin. So I may have you fielding some of this. Anybody using Anchor 516-38 easy load binders? Not me. Are you any of you two guys using it?
No, I mean, I don't know the name brand of it. I ordered all my binders. Besides the ones that
Right.
came on the trailer when I bought it, I ordered all my binders from.
I got it. Yeah, but is it easy? Is it that name? ANCRA?
I don't
Yeah,
think it's that name. No.
You do, Kevin?
No, I think I've seen them. I think they're like a easy chain binder, if I remember correctly. They're about $160 a piece.
Okay, Rodney. The answer to that is we don't think so. So, Bill, I've got you up here. How you doing, buddy? Bill's out on his very first run, guys. He's out on his first run for DD 214. He's coming out of Houston, Texas. So,
hey, can we go back to that fuel card thing?
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
So I use a fuel card. It's the EFS fuel card, and it's tied to my credit card where I get 2% back. And I typically, like, I just filled up over in Slidell, Louisiana, and I had an 89 cent a gallon discount over in Louisiana. It was on the sign. It said $4.20 a gallon, and I filled up for $3.30 a gallon. So there is a fuel card out there that'll give you a discount that's comparable to going to the mom and pop shops and stuff like that. And that's the only one that I've found that gives that deep of a discount.
Are you still tied to the truck stops with that?
Yeah, typically it's TA, Petro, and Love's.
Gotcha.
But like I filled up in Houston on my way out this morning for $3.26 a gallon, and then I had to fill up again over in Slidell, Louisiana, for $3.30 a gallon.
Gotcha.
And that was at a TA at both of those.
Okay. All right.
So
well,
I get the huge discount, plus it's tied to my credit card that gives me a 2% cash back as well. So on top of the discount, I get cash back on it too.
All right. So you found a good way to run that. We'll talk about that a little later, and maybe we can get it hooked up and see how it works. I'd like to see it. All right. So what do we got next, Miss Me? What's the average freight rate for Hotshot versus 18-wheelers? Well, let me just tell you, one of the biggest thing right now going into that show, what you heard all over was basically the freight rates, as how low they are right now. And the economy, the fact that freight has dropped, but the number of trucks are still out there. So the freight rate drops when that happens. It's all supply and demand. And that was a big concern at that show. So I'm guessing as far as the 53-foot dry van goes, they are in the $1.58 to $1.70 a mile, and they're going to remain there until the trucks go away or the freight picks back up. It's rough out there for the dry vans right now. Terrible rough. So as far as Hotshots go, we won't move the truck normally for less than $2 a mile. At least with us, we don't. And we definitely go higher than that most of the time. But it is truly a supply and demand thing, and freight is dropping right now. We are headed down that curve. It's going. I'm looking at June or July, or maybe July, August, right in that summer months when things are really going to get tight. That's what I've been saying it since last year. So we're still on that curve. So we'll just have to wait and see. I hope that answered your question. If it don't, hit me back. What we got? Oh, I have a question regarding commercial plates and pulling into weigh stations. When you are not running a load, we have stopped pulling. Wait a minute. We've stopped pulling our personal trade. They told us we did not stop. Another time, wait a minute. Let's stop. Hold on. This is a lot to go through. So it says, hi, guys. I have a question regarding having commercial plates and pulling into weigh stations. When we are not running a load, we have stopped pulling our personal trailer. They told us we do not have to stop. But I have others telling me since you're a one-ton commercial tag. All right, here's the deal, guys. This gets a little funky. They're asking if basically when you're off duty, do you have to, and you're not carrying a load, do you have to pull into personal weight, or do you have to pull into weigh stations? Look, no, you don't. You do not. If you're running personal, now you may get pulled over for it. Don't get me wrong. And if they pull you over, they can give you a level 1 inspection at any time, but you'll have to go on duty to do that. But the point is, do you pull into them? I do not. If I'm on my personal time in my personal truck, whether I've got a trailer on or not, if I have a load on, I'm going in. So if you don't have a load on, your trailer is empty, and you're not under dispatch, and you are on personal conveyance, then no, you don't have to pull in. Because you are a 1-ton, it's in that gray area, and it's where because you own that truck and you are allowed personal conveyance, I bypass it. I hope that's not bad information. I'm telling you what I do. So I hope that answered your question. If it didn't, hit me back. Who's next? What do you all run for miles? What do you all run for miles per oil filter change on your rigs? Now, I want everybody to answer this one because this is literally what you feel you need to do. I'll give you mine. And the reason I did this is because I spoke with the engineers at RAM, and they told me that 15,000 miles was perfect. And I said, well, I haul a lot of stuff. And they said, 15,000 miles. We know you haul stuff. That's why you bought this. Jeremy, how much you run your truck before you change your oil?
I change my oil and filters once a month. Anywhere between 10 and, because I'm running anywhere between 10 and 15,000 miles a month. Sometimes a little more, but it's once a month only because I run so hard. So when I get home, I need to take care of my maintenance at home.
Right.
So, it really doesn't matter. I could be sitting at 8,000 miles, but if I go home for my week home during the month, I'm changing the oil because I don't want to be stuck out in a truck stop parking lot changing it. Or I did let a Love's, my last oil change, not the one I did when I was at home last week, but the oil change before then, I let a Love's do it because I had all my own oil, I had all my own filters, I just didn't have a catch container. So I let the Love shop do it, and I had to end up going and buying another filter wrench to get my fuel filter off underneath the bed. I couldn't get it off. My dad couldn't get it off. My brother couldn't get it off with the tools we had at home. Love's put it on so tight.
Okay.
So, but me personally, once a month.
Thank you. Kev.
That's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna do it the week, every week that I'm home. That's what I'm gonna knock it out that week. So it's gonna end up being once a month. Before I was doing it 10,000 miles. I mean, I had the truck for a few months before I made the jump over, so I didn't even hit 10,000 miles. But
Gotcha. Okay.
yeah, I've got filters and oil and all that in the box on the bed of the truck right now. I mean, just, something crazy happens and I end up staying out here longer than 3 weeks, then if I have to, I can go by Walmart and buy me a catch pan and a 5-gallon bucket with a lid or something, and
Right.
and do it out on the road. But I've got the stuff if I have to do it. But what I'm going to do is kind of like what Jeremy's doing. When I go home, I'm going to knock it out that week I'm at the house, whether I run 6,000 miles or 12,000 miles or whatever. I'm just going to do it that week. I order the filters and stuff on Amazon, so they're not really that expensive. And I'm just going to do it monthly like he's doing.
Cool. How about you, Bill? What do you do?
Yeah, I do mine about once a month as well, just depending on, the loads that I've been hauling and how much I've driven that month or whatever. I'm typically, by the time I get home, it's time to change it again. And
Right.
I'm kind of a stickler for that. I'd rather change it too often than not enough.
Right.
Right.
Agreed.
That's just
Agreed.
I
All right,
mean,
guys.
I know some guys that go 20,000 miles before they do an oil change. And one buddy of mine that did that, well, he spun a main bearing and now he's got a 2020 Dodge sitting at the house with a blown up motor in it.
All right. Okay. Thanks, guys. So what do we got next? What about fuel differential? All right. So hey, listen, there are requirements for your truck. The maintenance service guide, the fuel and differential. Every time you change your oil, you need to be changing that fuel filter. Both of them. You have a fuel filter and a water separator, and both of those need to be done. I believe the transfer cases are every 30,000 miles. I think. Anybody got any info on that? No, I think it's 30,000 on that. On the transmission itself, I believe it's 60,000. So that's what we got. All right. So random question. Now there's one down there from Mr. William. What do you got? It says random question. How do you guys deal with fitness on long hauls, if at all? Any lifters, fitness guys in your fleet? Best as I can come up with is a prison style workout in the back of random truck stops. Well, I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you. My fitness, I actually lost 40 pounds when I was out on the road, and that's just because my ass was up and moving every day. And I learned that it was tarping. That was right. I was throwing tarps. But William, listen, where I really lost most of my stuff was I stopped eating early in the afternoon. I would grab whatever I'm going to eat, 3 or 4 or 5 o'clock, and I just wasn't hungry anymore. And I didn't eat when I laid down at 8 or 9. And that'll help you out a lot, just losing weight. It's not going to help you with your cardio. But when you get to a shipper or receiver and you're delayed, use that time to get out and walk, get out and stretch, do those kind of things. Eat as best you can while you're out there. Because
Hey, Bryan, can I jump in for a minute?
Yes, sir. Go ahead. Talk to me.
So, I'm kind of on this, trying to get back on this fitness thing. If you're going to stay at a hotel, a lot of your hotels have a mediocre gym to where they at least have a treadmill or a bicycle. They'll have some free weights. Nothing else. Get out and walk. If I'm at a hotel and there's a Walmart across the street, down the road, whatever, instead of going in PC and driving my truck over there, I'll walk to the Walmart. If you want to lift something, you got plenty of stuff on your truck. Grab you some binders. You could do some curls with some binders. If you're really wanting to lift something, there's chains, there's binders, when I drag the binders out, I'm throwing a couple curls as I'm walking to the back of the trailer just to just to throw them in there. And when I take them off, I do the same thing when I go and put them back in the box. So you're gonna have time.
When you
You're
can
gonna
do
have
it,
time.
right?
You're gonna have time sitting at shippers. You can just walk around their parking lot, or you can run around if you want. I mean, I get out, I walk around at the hotels. You walk around the parking lots, but you got to get up and do it. I mean,
Yeah,
you
you
get
do.
complacent.
You do, and you know. The other thing, I had a driver I spoke with today and yesterday, and we had some conversation about your mindset and how you have to think of things. And you know, we spoke, and I just told him that, look, you know, 1% of life is what life throws at you, and 99% of life is how you deal with it. And you got to get your mind right on this stuff, because you're going to be out there and you got a lot of time to think. And if you let negative thoughts trap inside your head, 100 miles down the road, you're going to be mad and you're going to get out of things. And next thing you know, you're going to spin into just a negative situation, and you got to keep your head out of that. You know, you were talking about working out. I had a truckload of tires. It was August, 90. It was like 90 degrees and 98% humidity here in Charlotte. Had a truckload of tires, and I'm going to be honest with you. When I got them in my head, my first thought was, "Damn," and my second thought was, "Okay, let's figure out how to make my mind right on this." And I started thinking, well, it's going to be my workout for today. There's 400 tires in the back of that dry van. And the first couple were okay. And then they got into semi tires. And I'm like, God almighty. But you have to condition your mind and change your thought process when you go to do something you're really not crazy about doing. So just remember that. William has a recommendation here. Can you pop that up there? I recommend springing the $120 for Mopar Tech Authority USB covers and repair and make. I get it. Yeah. Everything I buy is the Mopar. So I try to put OEM stuff on my truck so that I don't have issues with it. Anybody else got a deal? You guys running aftermarket anything? Okay. So the next one, as far as the working out, Nicholas come up and said that they use resistant bands for various workouts 5 days a week for 30 minutes. There you go. Get you some of the resistance band. All right. So now we got. All right, Mr. Facebook user, do you encourage your guys to carry a firearm, or is it don't ask, don't tell situation like in the military? It's a crazy world these days. I want to tell you something. Firearms, they are not restricted with DD-214. However, you roll onto a military base. We had a sheriff out of Florida that was with us. You roll onto a military base and you tell them you've got a firearm, you got two options, and both of them are to turn around. Okay, so what they made him do was to turn around, leave the base, pawn his firearm, and come back. So your second option is to bury the damn thing somewhere in your truck where nobody can ever find it. I saw you shaking your head, Jeremy. What are you talking about?
Every military installation I've been on, except for one, will secure the weapon for you as long as you declare it with them at the gate as soon as you're pulling in. I've been on multiple military installations, and as long as you declare it as soon as you get there, all of them I've dealt with except for one, which is Letterkenny, and I'll tell you about that.
No, you won't, but it's okay.
But what they do is they will take it from you. They will remove the magazine. They will empty the magazine of all ammo. They do a count. They take the weapon, they do a count of your ammo, and they do a count of your magazines, and they take it and they give you a receipt for it. And then whenever you come back out, you just give them the receipt, they give you your firearm, and then of course you can't reload it until you
Gotcha.
leave.
Okay, so just so you know, the two that we had problems with were in Florida, and both of them were Air Force, and they made them leave the base, pawn the firearm, and bring it back, and then
Now,
bring the load back.
Letterkenny almost did that to me.
Yeah.
Yep.
So just know you're going to catch flack.
Oh yeah.
Now this week, we had a gentleman, just to tell you how restrictive they've become. This week we had a gentleman pull two AMC General, Hummers out of AMC General, and they were all of drab H3s going to a military base, but he didn't realize they were going to a military base somehow, he said, and he has a felony. Nope. Refused him access because of the felony. The felony did not prohibit him from driving, but it prohibited him from being on military and DOT bases. So you guys got to be aware of that. Hey, Robert, how you doing? So Robert's on here. Robert's another driver, but he didn't choose to join us. At William, hey William, where did you get the Tech Authority USB? William, is that for you? Mm-hmm. Where did you get the Tech Authority USB? I don't know. Okay. Is that it? Let's see. Go to the bowling alley, rent a raw locker for the gun. Yeah, I guess you could do that.
So all right, I was actually going to piggyback on that, what Alan just said.
Okay.
I carry a gym membership with Planet Fitness, and that is another option for drivers who carry firearms. If you have if there's a Planet Fitness somewhere in that vicinity of where you're picking up or dropping off in a military base, go into Planet Fitness, lock it up in a locker in your bag, take off for an hour, hour and a half, whatever, to do your pick or do your drop, and then come back to your Planet Fitness. While you're there,
there's an idea.
Knock you out a workout, take a shower, and go on about your way.
Gotcha. All right, so Bill, how's your first run going, buddy?
Besides the loading, everything else is fine.
Yeah. Tell everybody how long you got stuck yesterday.
I showed up at the shipper at 8 o'clock in the morning, and I didn't drive out of there till 6:45 that evening. So that's what, 10 hours and 45 minutes.
Nice. So
it's good times.
Good times. All right. So, Kevin, how's your week going?
It's going.
Okay.
It's going.
All right. So, all right, we got a couple of questions going on. Let's see what we got. I had to take a guy. This is a statement, not a question. It said it's a Facebook user. It says I had to take a guy back over to the Ambassador Bridge into Canada because they did a background check on my co-driver. Yeah, guys. One thing we're adding to our application, just so we're aware, we never ask. The DOT application does not ask if you have a felony. It doesn't ask it. We're going to add that just for our knowledge. If it doesn't preclude you from driving, that's okay. But it seriously inhibits what we can dispatch you on. So we have to know that kind of stuff. And if the guy didn't lie to us about the felony thing, there was no question on our stuff about it. So, there you go. So we have another one that says Tyler, the Hotshot hauler, is being harassed for sleeping in his pickup. Officers saying back seats are not approved DOT sleeper berths. Is this because he is under a load or an officer opinion? No. If he is going into sleeper berth, he has to have a DOT approved sleeper. He cannot go into sleeper berth. He can go off duty and sleep on top of his truck. It doesn't matter. But he cannot go into sleeper berth. What's happening is more than likely Tyler is keying sleeper berth, and he does not have a DOT approved sleeper berth. That's the problem, Rodney. If he does not have a DOT approved sleeper berth, you cannot go into sleeper berth. If you can go into sleeper berth if you have a hotel, but you can't do it in the back of a pickup without a DOT approved sleeper berth. I hope that answers your question. That really wasn't a question, I don't think, but anyway. Sporting goods also will hold the weapon for you, Ozzy says. Okay. All right. Now, let me just tell you about all good options for everything. All of them. The gym, whatever. But let me tell you what you're losing in that is time. Time. And time is money. So if it's costing you time to carry the weapon, then you might want to reconsider. So now, DD-214 drivers will be on military bases. Come May 1, we're all going to be hauling federal freight for disasters, FEMA freight. So all these things will come into play. And time is truly money. Okay. So, Villa, did Bill and Kevin both have experience prior to leasing on the DD-214? Yes. Yes, they did. That's Kev, you want to tell them your experience?
I did. I was in the Hotshot game 20 plus years ago, 3-4 years ago. Got out of it, lived, did something else, and got the kids and everybody out of the house and everything paid for. And this is what I told the wife I wanted to go back and do. So we've kind of got a master plan, and about a year ago, I kind of got the ball rolling. Came across Bryan on YouTube and just started watching him, and just reached out to him one day, and he called me back. And I reached out to him with some questions, and he called me back. And it took 6 months, I guess, for me to finally have all my ducks in a row to leave my 9-to-5 job and to make the switch. But I kept in touch with Bryan the whole time, and when I was ready to make the jump, he opened the door and let me in. So that's how I got on board with Bryan.
Yeah, and William, do you want to be Bill or William? Everything I've got on you is William.
Well,
Is
my
Bill okay?
real name is Bill's fine.
Okay. What you got?
Yeah, I guess I had never really considered doing this whatever until COVID hit, and I just whenever everything slowed down with COVID and all that good stuff, I just came to the realization that I was tired of making somebody else filthy rich, and this I got to talk to a couple guys that were showing up at my old 9-to-5 job that were hot shots and everything, just picking their brains a little bit, and realize that, hey, this is an opportunity for me to get out and see the country and pretty much work for myself instead of having to deal with all the people that I dealt with my regular job. So I just went and bought a truck and got on the road. But I've been doing this for about 1.5 years now.
Good deal. Kevin, Rodney said, awesome, Kevin. I can relate. So, yeah. So, we have guys from varying backgrounds, and we have guys that have had experience. Jeremy, hey, what experience
sir.
did you have in Hotshot before you and I got together? Zero. And now Jeremy's one of the top performers. You know why? I will tell you why. One, he's a United States Marine. Two, he's very, very coachable. And he understands that he might not like everything I'm going to tell him, but I'm never going to try to tell him wrong. I'm going to keep him on the straight and narrow. And and he runs hard and he's successful at it. So if he can be successful, now mind you, they call us all window lickers and crayon eaters. So if they can be, or if we can be successful at this, anybody should be able to be successful at it. But now I will tell you guys this: I'm gonna go Air Force, Rodney. That's right. I did have to let somebody go this week, a driver, and it was mainly because the driver was uncoachable. They wanted to do stuff their way, and there was no other, they just was not going to be happy unless he did it a different way. He got put out of service, and that falls on me, guys. And I brought him in and I talked to him about it, and then I gave him an opportunity to do it his way. And all I got from that was excuses. So we went ahead and de-leased him this evening and just said, it's just not going to work out. I wish them guys the best. I hope that, I hope they do well. But it's not for me. They are not for me. So I try to have a vision for my guys, and I tell you now that it is legal, safe, profitable. That's where we got to be. And even on the phone messages, it says, we're going to make you legal, safe, and profitable, because if you're not the first two, you'll never be the third. So that's that. So questions? Anything else? Jeremy, Kevin, Bill, you got anything? Funny joke. There are only two jobs in the military: infantry and support. That's right. So that's it. The questions are done. We had a good evening. I appreciate you guys coming on. You three guys, be safe. Remember, we did have an accident this week. If you didn't know, our first accident. And just so you know, basically the driver was coming out of a pilot, taking a right-hand turn, and some moron tried to beat him out of the parking lot as he was turning and just drove right up into him. Probably not more than a couple $1,000s worth of damage, but there you go. So you guys stay safe. Remember, everybody out there is stupid, and they don't care that you're 65 feet long. So love you, mean it. If you need me, call me. We will resume this again next week at 7:00. All you first responders, all you military people, thank you for all you do and all you continue to do for this country. Have a great evening. We'll talk to you next time. See you.